really for you guys, and I want you to get the best and the most out of it. So let's get the show started. So what happened is that I went to our team the other day, and I said, okay, Thursday is going to be here in a few days, and what should we talk about? And they said right away, we're getting a lot of questions about castor oil. We're getting a lot of questions about beef tallow. And then I said, okay, we're going to create a nice presentation about that and give you the details about those two ingredients and what you can expect from them. But when I started putting the presentation together, I thought it needed to be a little bit more. So you guys need to understand a little bit more as to where oils are, where fats are, where waxes are. So what are these categories that we talk about in general in the beauty, science of the beauty and the beauty industry? What are these things we talk about all the time? We have oils, waxes, fats, and things like that. So where do they come into formulation and what these ingredients can do for us? So let's talk about them. So basically, we talk about oils, fats, and butters. Butters are very important. And waxes. These are really part of the non-water based. So remember, in terms of the formulation, you can divide all the ingredients into two components. One is water loving and one is oil loving. An emulsion is when you combine the two together and you create a cream. That's an emulsion. So we are not talking about the oil loving components. They technically fall in these four categories. So oils are generally the lightest ones and they have the best penetration in general. Fats are heavier, like the tallow, and they're mostly functioning as a barrier function. However, depending on what type of fat you're talking about, they can give you a lot more to your skin than just a barrier function. We're going to get into that. And then butters, think about fats that are plant-based. So we can get a lot of fat-loving ingredients from plants, and we usually refer to those as butters. They are more solid form. They are more, they have a harder shape. They're not liquid at room temperature, and that's why we call them butters. And then waxes are the heaviest of all, and then they basically are usually designed to act as a water repellent sometimes, because you want, say you have a sunscreen and you want to have a good water repellency, then the heavier wax, it helps with that. And also more protective layer. They tend to penetrate the least into the skin. So it's more of an occlusion protection function. I'm gonna put these tables on the website, and you can have access to them. So if you cannot see them very in details and you need to really see what's in those tables and what is included, and you want to use it in your archives, referencing to them as a function of time, you can download it from the website. So now let's get into oils. So we said, now they have a fatty composition. So the oils, think of a fork, okay? The fork has like these teeth, and then these teeth, imagine the teeth on the fork, they are attached to these molecules. So these are the backbone, which is the triglyceride, we call that the backbone, the head of the fork. And then everything that is attached to the tip of the fork, they can be of different composition. When those compositions, those molecules change, the characteristic is going to change. So it can become a fat or it can become an oil. The shorter molecules will tend to make oils, the longer ones become fats, and it will be harder. So now when we talk to oils, what is attached to the tip, there are these type of acids. There are linoleic, oleic acid that are very, very good for your skin. So a lot of oils have benefits for the skin. They penetrate deep, but also they go in between that brick and mortar and start nourishing the skin. A good example of that is castor oil. We're going to get into castor oil. I'm going to get into details of that, which has much more function than just being an emollient and helping the reducing the transepidermal water loss in your skin. Castor oil has a lot of other ingredients and components in there that can actually benefit your skin. And in the next slide, I'm going to explain it to you. For example, it can be anti-inflammatory, it can be antimicrobial. So now let's get into the details of castor, because you guys were specifically interested in castor oil. And I know this question is going to come up, so I'm going to answer it now. A lot of you are going to ask, is castor oil okay for hair loss? Okay? Look, hair loss is not caused by because of one thing, because of one factor, because of one reason, because of one issue. There are a number of different things that can happen in our scalp that can weaken the bulb of the hair. And when that bulb is going to get weakened because of these different factors, then you will have hair loss. One of the reasons that can cause that bulb to get weak and irritated and suffer is inflammation. Inflammation will make the hair, one of the key causes of hair loss, inflammation in the scalp. So castor oil acts as an anti-inflammatory ingredient because it has a molecule in there that's called ricinoleic acid. And that molecule, because it's anti-inflammatory, people that have hair loss because of the inflammation, they can get great results from castor oil. So that is one of the reasons that, yeah. But if the reason of your hair loss is because of too much dihydroxytestosterone in your scalp, then that may not help as much. So look at the stuff that is in this amazing oil. First of all, it's moisturizing. It has ricinoleic acid that is occlusive. So imagine we have a pot and there is water in there. Think of this pot being your skin and it's warm. What happens to the water that is in this pot when this pot is warm? It's going to evaporate. We refer to this as transepidermal water loss. Simple. It's a big word, but it's a simple thing. Water loss from skin. So if you have a lid on this pot, the degree of water that is evaporating from this pot is going to be dramatically reduced. So people that have compromised skin and all these cells that are sitting on the skin, they are kind of distancing from each other, they're not attached to each other properly, then you will have a lot of transepidermal water loss and your skin is going to get dry. So what this castor oil does is that it creates a semi-occlusive barrier on your skin and helps with transepidermal water loss. It makes your skin more moisturized. Now, it's anti-inflammatory, again, because of the same ingredient, the ricinoleic acid. It is antimicrobial and antifungal. That's another reason that we can have hair loss, for example. With benefits for people that have acneic skin, and also if you have hair loss because of these fungal issues in your scalp, it can reduce your hair loss. Then it enhances wound healing and collagen production. It improves your elasticity, and it's a natural cleansing and detoxifying agent. So castor oil in general will get from me a 5-star in terms of being a great ingredient in skincare. Now, in the science of skincare, sometimes we modify the castor oil and we use different forms of it to even perform better, and that's one of the things that we do at Isomers. Any questions about castor oil before I move to the next category? No? How many diamonds did we get?
You got 2 diamonds.
2 diamonds. All right. Thank you. Let's go. And I want to know from you guys, this can't be one way. It has to be interactive. Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Am I getting too scientific? I need to know, because I want to do I want to make the presentations in a way that you guys get the best out of it. So if I'm making it too scientific that you tune out, or if it's not scientific enough, you want to get more science behind it, I need that feedback from you, because if you don't give me that feedback, I will not be able to make the presentations better, okay? I need your feedback. Please take your time and give me your feedback. Let's go to the next one, that now we're talking about fats. Now, beef tallow is an interesting one. One of the things that we as scientists, or people that, not just scientists, people that we try to design formulations, is that we need to standardize the materials that we use. What does standardization mean is that, imagine your doctor says that you need vitamin A, or your body needs beta carotene. So now you have a choice. You can go and buy a beta carotene pill or vitamin A pill that on it says it has exactly so much IUs of vitamin A. It has 1,000 IUs of vitamin A. But when you go to get a natural product like a beta carrot, like a carrot, that now you want to get your vitamin A, there is no label on it. It's just a rough estimate that you can add. You know why? Because depending how that carrot was grown, which type of soil it was in, which part of the world it was in, and how much fertilizer was provided to that soil, how much water was given, what was the weather conditions. There's so many factors, and that will affect that you can have a carrot that has a very high beta carotene content and another carrot that doesn't have as much, okay? That's why when you go and buy grapes, if you go to Italy, the quality, taste, and the nutritional value of those grapes may be very different from the type of grape that you can get from California or, say, Florida. So because the soil, the source of the material, the nutrition in the soil, etc., changes. So that is the problem when we are what we are having with the beef tallow. It has a lot of, it's very rich. It has all these ingredients like stearic acid, palmitic acid, and it's very good for dry skin. And I'm gonna get into details of it right now, telling you what's in it. But I want you to keep that in mind, that the results that you can expect from using it, it will change from jar to jar that you purchase, from the different sources that it comes. The beef tallow that it may be produced in Australia will have completely a different level of nutritional profile than a beef tallow that was coming from Japan or, say, California. So because it's coming from the cows, what they do is that they render the meat, okay? So this is not gonna be pleasant for all of those of you that are vegetarian and you're vegan, because you will not be able to use it, right? But basically what it happens is that they take the meat, they apply gentle, slow heating, or they should be doing that, and the amount of fat that melts from that's the rendering process, they will collect it, and then they hopefully purify it, if they know how to do it right, depending who makes it. And then that, when it goes into room temperature, it will form the shape, and it becomes more solidified, and becomes like the beef tallow, it's a pasty material. So the quality of that is not consistent. In general, it has a lot of goodies in it, but you cannot expect like a vitamin that you buy from the pharmacy that is guaranteed, say, 1,000 IUs of vitamin A or 1,000 IUs of vitamin C, etc. You will not be able to see that on the label of a beef tallow. However, statistically, when we analyze the beef tallow in a laboratory, we get to see a lot of goodies in it. So let's get into the details of that. So first of all, there are fatty acids in there, the same as I mentioned to you about the castoroil. There's palmitic acid, stearic acid. These are all essential for barrier repair of the skin. These are all goodies. So when you put beef tallow on your skin, and if you have a very dry skin, you will feel an immediate relief on your skin. So it's good for your skin. Now, look at the vitamins that you can expect to have in there. Vitamin D, very good for healing. Vitamin E, a great antioxidant. Vitamin K, again, it's good for discoloration and dark spots. It's good for people that have too much angiogenesis or redness happening on their skin. Vitamin K is a very good one. However, for some of these performances, you need a minimum concentration for the effect. And depending on the quality of that beef tallow, you may or you may not get results. And then it has a lot of cholesterol in it. Cholesterol, you know, Manuela always likes to give this brick and mortar example of the skin, that how these cells sit on top of each other, and in between there's this cement. That cholesterol that goes in between the cells is part of that cement. And that's why it's very good for transepidermal water loss. It controls it. It doesn't allow the water to escape your skin. When your skin doesn't lose as much water, then it's naturally more moisturized. Remember, there is no moisture in oil, okay? If you take a cup of oil and you keep putting it in the soil to give water to your plant, that plant is gonna die because of dehydration, because there is no water in oil. The only thing that that oil is doing for your skin, or that fat is doing for your skin, is that it will prevent the moisture from evaporating from your skin. And then because your skin naturally has moisture in it, you're helping it not to lose it, then your skin stays more moisturized. And that's very, very important. And then antioxidants, the vitamin E as part of it, there are other antioxidants. It's really, really good for helping the inflammation in your skin. So in general, beef tallow, again, gets another 5-star from me, but you just need to make sure that, first of all, you're okay with animal byproducts. And the second thing is that the material is from a good source, purified properly, and that rendering process did not use too much of a heat, because a lot of these goodies that you see here, if it's exposed to too much heat, they get destroyed. So the quality of that process, how they're rendering that beef tallow, becomes very, very important. It can end up making a very good product or a very poor quality product. Now, let's get to butters. Okay, remember, butters are like fats, but they're from plants. So now, the quality of that butter, based on which plant it's coming from, it will change dramatically. But in general, again, they're kind of occlusive. They're protecting your skin, but they can do a lot more based on which plant they're coming from, which plant is really making it. And at the end, I've made a lot of tables for you guys that you can actually download and see what are the, for example, top 5 butters. What are the top 5 oils that you can go to in terms of when you're analyzing different skincare products, or maybe you want to go in the kitchen and start blending things for yourself as to experimenting and having fun. So those are the ones that you can start with. You're gonna get a lot of information from that. So shea butter is one of my favorite ones because it has a lot of properties I'm gonna explain to you. They're anti-inflammatory, they have inflammatory ingredients in there. They have good antioxidants. They're very amazing emollients. They're soft on the skin, and they absorb to some extent. So next one, let's go to waxes. So like we hear about beeswax, for example. Waxes are more solid and they're more occlusive. You cannot expect a lot of penetration from them. So they're part of the formulation that it's helped to create the emulsion, but also it sits on the skin and it helps protect your skin. Sometimes you want to have a good water repellency out of the formulation because it's a sun protection product, etc. or a winter cream that needs to be stronger because you want to protect your skin from windburn and things like that. That's when waxes come into play, or when you want to design a formulation that is really, really good for a dry skin, because you need that. The more the occlusion that you can create on the skin, the better moisturization you can get. So now, here we go to those tables, okay? I'm not gonna go into details of each one, but I'm gonna tell you what are the ones that I picked based on the research or the data that I have access to. When it comes to oils, these are the oils that I like. Jojoba oil. Jojoba oil has not only a lot of good benefits, but one of the things about jojoba oil is a co-penetrating ingredient. So if I have a vitamin E formulation, as an example, that I like that vitamin E to penetrate a little bit deeper, I may use a little bit of jojoba oil in there, because jojoba oil helps penetration of the ingredients. There are a lot more benefits. It's in this table. Argan oil is another favorite oils in my books. Rosehip oil. Now look at this one. Retinoic acid, they have a vitamin A. Oleic acid, linoleic acid. Castor oil, we talk about ricinoleic acid, and it has tocopherols and flavonoids. And the tamanu oil, that's another one that is another great, great ingredient. So if people are asking how they can access the tables, our social media team will tell you how you can access the tables. Basically, I think you have to log into the website. Is that how?
Tell them type in word chart in the live. Just type in chart.
Okay, type in chart. Type in the word chart in your in the comment section, and then you will be able to access the tables. Okay. Now this is one table I created for oils. Another table I created for the fats. So beef tallow, good quality. Lard, I like to some extent. Lanolin. Lanolin fat is one of my favorite ones, okay? A lot of people have a bad, they have a big misconception with lanolin. Because what happened in the old days, say back in the 1960s, 1970s, when lanolin was becoming a little popular, they realized a lot of people were reacting to lanolin. So it was considered as an ingredient that causes allergies, okay? And a lot of people, it got a bad name. And the reason for it was that when you're trying to extract the fat or the oils, the old technologies were not quite capable of only separating one component. So what would happen is that some impurities would come along. So imagine if you're trying to attract a lot of good things, and then some bad things will come into the party with you. A lot of your friends come, but some of the uninvited friends will show up to the party. So those were the ones that were causing the problem. But with the new technology and how we can accurately separate the ingredients from each other, the new purified lanolins will not cause any problems on your skin. So when you go to the store and you find a product that you see ingredients said lanolin on it, if that company sourced the proper lanolin and that lanolin was properly purified, you will not have any potential allergic reaction to that lanolin. It's really purified. So another one is shea butter fat and cocoa butter fat. These are the ones that make the list when it comes to the fat for me. And then I have kind of explaining them what's in it and what it will do for your skin. Next one, butters. Butters, they come from plants. They're the fats that come from the plants, right? Now, shea butter is the top of the list for me. It's an amazing ingredient. Look at the stuff that's in it. There's the oleic and stearic acid, but it's phytosterols in it and vitamin E. And then cocoa butter, mango butter, cocoa butter, and lippy butter, those are the ones that I really like. And all the benefits, they have to type chart in the comment section. If you type chart in the comment section, this is what you can get, what you can have access to. And then waxes, beeswax, Candelilia wax, carnauba wax, rice bran wax is one of my favorites, and the jojoba wax. Those are the ones that really can do amazing things for your skin. Let me see what else I put down for you. Now, let's summarize things for you. Any questions yet? No questions so far. All right.
We'll wait a lot of questions.
Oh, a lot of questions. Okay. All right. Let me finalize this for you. I'm going to read it for you because I cannot memorize all this. I sit down and prepare these things for you. Like, look, oils are generally lighter. They penetrate deeper. Based on the top of the type of oil you're using, the constituents may vary and the benefits can be quite different. So you can have an oil that is very rich in vitamin E and another oil that is rich in beta carotene. Okay? So you cannot say all oils are equal. No, that's not the case. Then we have fats. Fats are thicker, they're more protective. So the thicker, the higher the viscosity of the ingredient gets, the more occlusive it becomes and it sits more on the top layer of the skin. The butters are softer, creamier. They have usually better nutritional profile than the fats, okay, in general. And the waxes are the thickest one of all that tend to sit on the top layer. They have really no penetration capability to that extent. They're used mostly for occlusion and forming the emulsion. So let's get to the questions now.
Well, first, since there's so many questions, we are going to get started with our giveaway.
All right, giveaway. We were going to give a giveaway. So I have to ask, you can pick a moisturizer of your choice. Am I correct? A moisturizer, you can go to our website and pick the moisturizer of your choice. And that could be even from Kohl's, and because if I didn't include that, Kian would be very upset. We can get the Redensify contouring cream. You can get the advanced line. Oh my God, the list is a lot. The list is big. So you can go, you can type in, actually in the search moisturizer, and you will see all the moisturizer on our website. We have quite a few of them, and each one is a moisturizer with additional benefits. But now the question. So I have to ask the team here, should I make the question hard or easy? Should I make the question hard? It should be medium, right? It should be medium. I want to see. So my question is this. If you wanted to create a formula that you really wanted it to penetrate deep, are you going to choose jojoba oil or beeswax? Jojoba oil, if you want it to really penetrate the skin, is it going to be jojoba oil or beeswax? How much time should I give them?
Somebody said jojoba oil.
Yes!
The first person to ask that is Ash from TikTok.
Ash from TikTok, you are a winner. So go to the website and pick the moisturizer of your choice. And that was a good answer. Jojoba oils were penetrating deeper, especially one of the best penetrating oils that you can find is jojoba oil. Wax tend to sit on top of the skin, and they have their own function. They protect more than penetrate.
All right, so time for questions.
Time for questions.
The first question is castor oil better for acne-prone skin because of the viscosity?
No. Better for acne-prone skin because of viscosity. Better than what? Is it just? Are you asking me because of its viscosity is good for the skin, or you're saying that it's going to be better than something else?
I believe because of the viscosity
No.
is what's making
No.
it.
Look. Let's stop right there. I want you to. Viscosity is a physical characteristic of a product. So you can have two oils with identical viscosities. One of them may be harmful for your skin, the other one has a lot. Viscosity is only a measurement of how thick or how thin, how fluid a material is. So you can have a toxic material that has low viscosity. You can have a toxic material that is solid, and that's the viscosity is off the chart. So viscosity is only about a feel. It can only be used to say, for example, or we use viscosity measurements to determine if we want to put a product in a jar, or we want to put it in a pump, or it should be a spray. It has nothing to do with what you can expect in terms of the performance out of the product.
If I have oily skin, is using oils on your face okay?
Well, listen, it depends on the oil. Like castor oil is actually good for your skin. You can, or olive oil has antibacterial properties. So you need to look at the specific property of the oil. Just because two products are both oils, two ingredients are both oils, that you cannot just say because it's oil is good or bad for the skin, okay? So you need to look at the characteristics of those oils. If that oil is anti-inflammatory, if that oil is antibacterial, if it has those two properties, it is most probably good for acne. It will treat acne the right way.
Can you give us your quick thoughts on what do you think about grapeseed oil?
Grapeseed oil is a very good antioxidant. It needs to be formulated properly because, look, antioxidants, they are sacrificing molecules. So for an antioxidant, think of antioxidant as a molecule that wants to hug, okay? It has arms and it goes and hugs the bad guys, okay? So if I am the good antioxidant and there is a bad guy that I need to neutralize it. So as soon as I go and hug that guy, then I am finished. I did my job. I hugged the bad guy and that bad guy cannot do anything. So I've neutralized that bad person. But in doing so, I have no capability to go and grab other people and neutralize them. So I have gone bad. I've become inactive because I've already done my job. So some ingredients that are antioxidants that have very good performance and that last a long time. Some ingredients, they quickly go grab and they become neutralized. And grapeseed oil is one of those. So if the grapeseed oil is not optimized the right way, it will lose its potency as an antioxidant. I hope I didn't make it complicated and I gave you a simple example.
Is cocoa butter good for cellulite?
No. Listen, cellulite, what happens with cellulite is that maybe we should have a presentation about cellulite next week. I think people will like that. Should we do that, guys? Should we? I want you guys to tell me if I should talk about what you have to do with cellulite treatment. Is that a yes for next week? How many yeses we got? I'm getting a lot of yeses.
All capital yeses.
All right. Next week, I promise you, I will let you know about everything you need to know about cellulite, how it's formed, and what are the best ways to treat it. So basically, cellulites are, in short, enlarged fat cells that they coagulate. and they don't have a uniform shape anymore. And a fat applying topically on the skin will do nothing for cellulite, nothing. It can help moisturize your skin, it can help your skin feel better, but it will not make your skin, it will not make those fat cells smaller or more uniform.
I used castor oil and it gave me breakouts. Should you avoid using it if you have acne-prone skin?
Mhm. Look, there are a few things you need to consider here. What was the quality of the castor oil you bought? Was it aged? Was it, because sometimes you have to pay attention to the expiry date on the product. And also, sometimes we are allergic to some ingredients, and that is nothing that there's no test that can be done that says nobody will be allergic to something. So you need to kind of eliminate those possibilities. Make sure about the shelf life of the product. Make sure you bought a good quality castor oil, and then take a look at the label, because sometimes I've seen this happen time after time. You go to buy a product, and on it it says, for example, aloe vera. And then you look at the ingredient listing, guess what? There is no aloe vera in it. They just called it aloe vera. Or there was aloe vera and you think it's pure, and they have mixed it with so many other ingredients. First of all, check those things out. If you know that the ingredient was good quality, pure, and the shelf life was okay, apply a small amount of it behind your arm, see if you're getting allergic reactions, because then if you don't get any allergic reactions, maybe it could be that you're using too much. You don't put a little bit of that castor oil, I suggest. If you did all those and everything came out negative, then you put few drops of a castor oil in one of the moisturizing creams that you have. Or if you don't want to mix it, apply a little bit of a moisturizer in your palm, put a little bit in the palm of your hand, and then put a drop of castor oil in there, blend it, and then apply it to your skin. Maybe you are oversaturating your skin.
So to expand on that, is it important for your oils and your fats and your butters to be organic?
Okay, some people will not like what I'm going to say, but I have an issue with the organic, the whole organic world. Listen, I'm not a fan of pesticides. I understand the pesticide industry really well. Trust me, I worked in that industry for years, and I'm not trying to support them. But the problem I have with organic is this, that there is not enough inspection done on the materials to really check to see if these materials that they're claiming to be organic, they're really organic. And there are not very specific guidelines for that. There's so many different guidelines. There's so many different institutions that follow the organic thing. And then the other thing that also makes me a little bit, it makes it a little bit tricky. They did a study many years ago. We're talking about broccoli in this case, just broccoli, okay? So when they were growing the broccoli, you will be shocked with what I'm telling you. When they were growing broccoli, plants have a defense mechanism, okay? Like our bodies, plants also are designed to defend themselves against parasites, against insects. They have their own mechanism. So they did a study that they grew some broccoli without any pesticides on it, so organic. And then they harvested another bunch of broccolis that they used pesticide on. Then they started analyzing. They realized the broccoli that no pesticide was used on it, to protect itself, it had created its own pesticides, okay? And the level of the natural pesticides that was in them was substantially higher than the broccoli that was not organic. So, you need to be careful depending on what you're using, if it should be organic or not. So that becomes a very tricky question to answer. When I go to select an ingredient, I look at on its purity rather than if it was grown organic or not. Because if I find a material that was grown as a non-organic material, but it is super purified, then I don't pay attention as to if it was organic or not. The method of purification of that oil or that ingredient has a more priority in my mind than how that material was grown.
How large are the molecules of these oils, fats, and butters? Can we absorb into the hair shaft?
The hair shaft, it's not that complicated for a molecule to get absorbed into the hair shaft, okay? And most of the oils can get absorbed, especially when you get to jojoba oil and things like that. So if you want to give a protection, you don't necessarily want too much absorption on your hair shaft. You want it to actually sit on top, which if you put enough of the oil on your hair shaft, it will protect. Some will penetrate and some will apply. Remember, one misconception that people have, they think that the hair shaft after like 1.5 inches away from your head is all dead. There's nothing alive in there. So when you're applying moisturization and things like that, you just want that hair shaft to stay more less brittle, like the end of your nails, and they don't break. So that is really the application of oil when it comes to that. It is not going to help. Applying oil to the end of your hair can help with the split ends, but it cannot make your hair grow. Remember that.
So the last question is just once again going to relate to acne-prone skin. So people just wanted to know if beef tallow was safe to use or good to use on your skin if you have any issues with acne. And then also the same thing for shea butter.
I would not, first of all, I will really make sure that the quality of the product is there. I investigate that this material is of good purity and whoever you're purchasing it from has a good reputation with pure ingredients and their purification methods. And I am not a big fan of applying like concentrated pure material directly on the face. I think it's a good approach if you dilute it a little bit with your preferred skin cream and then apply it, and you can still get a great benefit. The beef tallow, as I showed you before on the slide, has a lot of goodies in there. You just have to make sure that the material is not expired and it's been purified properly.
So no more questions, but we just wanted to let you know that people are excited for next week's Isomers TV on
Cellulite. I want to see how many likes I'm going to get if I'm going to do a good presentation on cellulite.
And we also have some positive feedback. People are they're thanking you for answering. Someone let us know, Jane from Facebook let us know that she was an educator and taught art and nursing for years, and she loves how you enhance your bullet points and you keep her attention. Thank you.
Listen, always there's room for improvement, and that is the reason I'm asking you these questions, okay? Because your feedback will help me to do a better presentation for you, and I need to know if I should get more scientific, keep it less scientific, or do a combination of both. You want more live examples, you want more analogies, and you need to guide me what makes the presentations more appealing to you and what makes you learn better, because honestly my goal is to make you learn as much as you can about the science of skincare and make better decisions and choices for your skincare regimen.
So before we conclude, once again, thank you everyone for the comments. We have Ash, our giveaway winner, who is currently studying to become an esthetician and wants to continue learning. We have more people who say they enjoy this presentation every week, and another person who really appreciates you answering their question regarding organic products.
All right, thank you guys. God bless, and I see you guys next week. I want lots of likes, lots of shares, promote, and let everybody know. Thank you so much.